Welcome everyone to the Nerd Nook. I'm your host, MNT. With me, like always, is a man who's back from a very weirdly short retirement, Noah Bailey. So, um, in 2020, Disney CEO Bob Iger retired from Disney after being, I think, CEO since like 2002. He'd been with the company forever, and he officially stepped down as CEO in 2020 and was replaced by a different Bob named Bob Chapek. Chepak? Chepak. Chepak. It doesn't matter.
Close
He's not
enough.
there anymore. So, yeah, after only 2 years, Bob C was ousted, and Bob Iger just kind of came back. So that's a thing.
I mean, maybe he got home, played like a round of golf, and was like, "Yeah, this ain't it," and was like, "Wanted to come back to work." I don't know.
I legitimately think a part of it was Bob C kind of recently made some very upsetting comments about how like he believes that cartoons and animated movies and stuff are for kids, and he believes
Oof.
like adults are only there for live action stuff, and like, you idiot. Like, what do you think your studio's made? Like, your entire
Uh,
Disney was made on animation. You moron. What are you doing?
I mean, it's so funny he's saying that because it's like you making all these like all these Disney projects that are animated are doing so well, and it's like not that the live actions aren't, but it's like I feel like people have more bad things to say about the live action stuff than good.
Yeah.
Versus, I haven't heard, nobody said anything bad about Soul,
No,
but
but
man, there
but
were some people.
here's the thing though. I'm sorry, I'll cut you off, but
No, good, good.
for Soul and other stuff specifically, during COVID, that that Turning Red, there's one other Luca.
Ryan the Last Dragon.
I actually went to theaters, but also on Disney Plus the same
Oh,
day.
you mean just Disney Plus? Okay.
Yeah,
No,
like
my bad.
those.
I thought you meant just during COVID.
Well, like all of these Pixar movies, you know, best in the biz when it comes to animation, was relegated just to being
Absolutely.
dumped onto Disney Plus, and they're all fantastic. I haven't actually seen Turning Red, but I heard it's pretty good. At least Soul and Luca are fantastic movies, and it was Bob C's decision just to dump those on on Disney Plus. So whereas stuff like Cruella was able to release in theaters, like okay.
I mean, I feel like the reason a lot of the live action stuff gets theater treatment is because I think the actual actors may have more of a problem with it than, the animation team. Because it's kind of like, if what Emma Stone or whatever is
Mm,
like, I'm not doing this movie if it's gonna just be on Disney Plus, then it's kind of like, well, we either don't have a title character or we don't put it just on Disney Plus.
I
So
guess Jamie Foxx isn't as big of a name as whoever. That was Jamie Foxx, right? In Soul, was that him?
I believe so.
I'm second
let
guessing
me
myself.
make
That
sure.
sounds right.
I'm pretty sure it is. But yeah, but it's the whole thing because it's Jamie
Okay.
Foxx. There's a lot of people in
Yeah,
that movie.
Tina
There was Tina
Fey,
Fey in there too.
um,
Yeah.
Richard
Oh,
Iona.
Angela Bassett. I forgot about that.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, she was
everybody's
there.
in this
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of famous people in here.
It
So
wasn't
it's
good enough.
like,
It wasn't good enough.
well, it's the whole animation thing because it's like, oh, the kids don't know it's Jamie Foxx, and while that's probably true, it's still like, it's the principle. I mean, the
Yeah.
kids don't know it's Robin Williams, or the kids don't know it's whoever playing
Mm-hmm.
whatever animated character, but it's like it still matters. Like, they don't know. Oh, hey, man, they're not going to be like, Tim Allen and sounds off with Toy Story. It's like, no, man, like the kids don't know. They just see Buzz and Woody, but it's still like it's the principle. It's
Mm-hmm.
still like it's still acting professionalism, even if it is just a voice. A voice,
Yeah.
as we know from the likes of James Earl Jones, among others, the voice is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Although, for the record, it it is kind of interesting that once Pixar movies and other Disney animated movies started really coming back into theaters, they started not doing all that well. However, Lightyear, I didn't. I never once thought I wanted to see that movie. I never, even for a second, was like, I am interested in watching the origin of the toy. Like, just the premise of that movie.
Yeah,
It
no,
was a
I get
movie
what you're
set
saying.
within the Toy Story universe that Andy watched to get him excited for the toy Buzz Lightyear. Like, I never cared. I
Like,
never like.
in theory, I see what they're going for, but it didn't really make it. I mean, granted, I never saw the movie,
No.
so I can't say. But at the same time, it's kind of like that feels like an idea somebody had that nobody asked for.
Mm-hmm.
And while I don't think it's a terrible idea, I think it's more of like it's kind of not exact. It's like if demand's not super high, you better supply a really nice product. And I don't think that was good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was there. But again, hey, you win some, you lose
Yeah.
some. Because it's like, I mean, it's kind of like the equivalent of making like a Reptar movie. It's like, you're making a movie about something, a movie within another movie. It's
Mm.
like you're kind of like that's a little bit of a reach there. Sometimes it works, but sometimes that's a little bit much.
Yeah. And then the most recent foray for animation in theaters, Strange World, I didn't even know existed until watching a trailer for it before Wakanda Forever. I'm like,
Yep.
oh, this movie looks interesting, I guess. But like, I already watched. Like, I wasn't planning on going to see another movie this month. So I'm sorry, I'm just not gonna see you.
Goodness.
Right.
Yo, I just looked this up online for the reviews. My word. I have not seen so many 1 out of 5s in a while.
So the main character is gay, so that might be part of that. People like to review bomb stuff like that just because it's woke or whatever.
Really?
So I haven't read them. I know nothing about this movie. It could actually be trash. I don't know, but like a lot of the online discourse was around the fact that like the main character is woke or whatever. So
Okay. What is this? Who is in this? Jake Gyllenhaal, Gabrielle Union. I mean, it has Lucy Liu. It has people. I mean, again, I know it's animated, but I mean,
yeah. Yeah, so for the record, I guess like those two examples do show that not every animated movie necessarily does fantastic. However, those are not the best in their field, which I feel like if Soul, in a normal year came out around Thanksgiving/Christmas time, Luca,
now.
Luca came out, in the
Summer.
summer 2021 during a normal year, it would have done pretty well. But when you don't advertise your movies and or make movies people don't really want to watch, now it's not actually exactly the best example of what anime movies can do. And I think that kind of maybe soured Bob C on the idea of animation in the first place, where it's like even adults aren't seeing our stuff. We worked so hard, and it's like you didn't really.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, especially when you like don't know movies are coming out, when other movies are slapping you on the head. Hey, don't forget, like and it's like,
I couldn't go anywhere without seeing a trailer for Wakanda Forever. It's like it was.
yeah. Which, granted, that's probably more of a fan base than the average movie, but it's still like, advertise your product. Like even like Cruella, like that had a bunch of trailers to it. Like, you know what I mean? Like that, I knew when that came out. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, try to give everything a fair shake. Don't assume disinterest on something just because you don't think it's important.
Yeah. Apparently, there's also some weirdness happening with Disney's theme parks. Just people are generally unhappy working there. The Star Wars land isn't doing as well as they thought it would. Just some mismanagement happening there that people were blaming the other Bob for, and just kind of things throughout that just weren't as good as sure they were hoping, and Bob Iger, I guess, saw that and was like, I think I could fix this. Just give me a few years. I think I could right this ship, and then after I fix it, I'll pick a better Bob to come and fill my place. It's gotta be someone named Bob.
That's the rule. It's like the Zelda thing. It's like his has to be Bob, or it doesn't work. It doesn't. It's like I know it's so random.
Okay.
That was the most like random but helpful role at the same time because you knew as soon as you met the person, oh, okay, cool, this is what I need to find. But
so yeah, it'll probably.
But yeah, I mean,
sorry, go.
Yeah, no good.
Oh, I gotta say it's probably gonna take about a year or more to like really see any changes that he implements, but things seem, at least from what I could tell, things seem to be doing pretty well for Disney ever since he was CEO. So, I'm sure things will go back to being as good as at least as good as they were before. So, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Speaking of things at Disney not going necessarily the best, that Margot Robbie Pirates of the Caribbean movie that was like rumored, but like probably happening, but like never really anything really like it's not happening. It's no longer happening.
Okay. I mean, she's got other things going because isn't she still doing the Barbie movie or something?
Yep, she's still doing the Barbie movie. I'm sure she's still gonna be Harley Quinn in a couple of things.
Yeah. That's not going anywhere.
I feel like she's one of those actors that like every now and then just like you'll see a random trailer and it's like, oh, she's in that. Like this new movie Babylon. I don't know what it's about, but she's in it.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't think of anything else right now. But like she does stuff. So I'm sure.
Yeah,
even though I'm sure she was excited, I'm sure she's not too broken up about not being in this.
No, I mean, she's a top tier actress for sure. So I feel like, as far as like notoriety and fame, so I feel like she's not exactly gonna be out of work for longer than 5 minutes before something else comes up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's one of those actors that I keep forgetting is Australian. Like all these.
Yeah, and it throws you off in the interviews. Well, it's like because I expect the like New York accent because it's like everything I've seen her in, she's had that. Because whether it was Wolf of Wall Street or like Harley Quinn or whatever, it's like I'm always expecting the accent and her to just magically be chewing gum. But like, but it's funny because then she talks like. Oh, it's like I don't know. It's just whenever there's a lot of like actors like that. It's just really funny because it throws you off so hard. You're just like, oh yeah, they're not from here.
Nicole Kidman too. It's like I haven't seen you in a lot, but like I know you as, the girlfriend from Batman Forever. I think it's like you were not Australian in that movie. Now you are. Like okay.
Yeah. The only reason I know is because the AMC intro, it helps me out. Because
I don't really go to AMC theaters, so I've never actually seen.
Oh, really?
I've never actually seen.
Okay, no, I almost go exclusively to AMC, so it's like, no, every movie, it's like, oh, there she is. It's so funny because it's like, oh, there's the mom from Aquaman. It's like, among other things, yes. Like you're not wrong, but I don't think anyone's like, oh my gosh, like you know what I mean? Stops her on the street. It's like, all right, like, it's like.
Imagine someone doing that to Julie Andrews. Like they saw Julie Andrews, like, hey, look, it's the Kraken from Aquaman. Like deep cut, but you're not wrong.
No, it's like you're not wrong, but it's like, I mean, sure. Like, you know what I mean? It's like all the other things you could be, and it's like, oh, cool. Like, like, I don't know. I don't know. I thought that was really funny because it was like, one, it's like we're getting older. Because there's like a kid that said it, like, well, we're getting older, but it's also like, yeah, I mean, I guess, when you've been doing things for so long, it's like, yeah, you have a lot of, you get a lot of roles and stuff. Like, you get a lot of, I don't know. Just it's really cool though.
Mm.
It's like, you think Samuel L. Because even the whole, like, Samuel L. Jackson, oh, it's Nick Fury. It's like, well, yes, but also, like, there's been a lot of other movies. So it's like,
Every Quentin Tarantino movie, Woody Allen, Die Hard
right.
3.
Like,
Like, he's been around for a while.
yeah, Star Wars. Like, I mean, he's done a lot of
Hmm.
things. So it's like, yes, but then again, he's been in a lot of Marvel movies too. So you're like, well, that's not really a wrong answer either. And it's not like those movies aren't super famous. So
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, okay. I guess I'm like, okay, well, I'm trying to think, what's a wrong answer for what he's famous for? I'm like,
It's the guy from Blade. It's like, okay, that's wrong.
okay, that's wrong. Wait, is that actually wrong?
I don't think he was in any
What's,
of the
I was
Blade
about to say, I'm like, I mean, are you making that as a joke as Wesley Snipes, or is he
Yeah.
actually making a
Yeah,
cameo?
like
Okay,
like used
okay.
the
I
wrong
didn't know
one.
if he. I haven't seen Blade in forever, so I was like, maybe he did make a
I don't
cameo.
think
I have
so.
no idea. I think he could. I don't know. It seems like his kind of movie. You just show up, say a
Yeah.
few words, and then leave. No, but oh my gosh. Or like, see, it's like saying George Lopez and be like, "There's the bad guy from Shark Boy and Lava Girl." It's like,
It's
I
Mr.
mean,
Electric. Like,
yes, it's like, I mean, you're not wrong, but again, I don't think that's like, the number one thing I would think of.
I love that
But
movie. It maybe would be for me, honestly.
I just think it's funny because they always make the big head George Lopez jokes, and his body's just all head, and I think it's hilarious. Oh, it's just
What's
hard to take him
up?
seriously. So he's just like. Also, the George Lopez show is hilarious. Just side note, just throwing that out. That show is one of the funniest shows. Of like, again, it's in that mid 2000s feeling of like goat shows where it's just like hilariously funny. It's just like, Nick at Night. It's just on, and
Yeah.
then you're just like, yeah, I wonder what this is about. And then you're like, this show is hilarious. Like, as a kid, you don't get it. You grow up, and then you're like, I didn't know what I was missing. But yeah, just like, I don't know what we were originally talking about because we
Pirates.
went from Nicole Kidney to Pirates of the Caribbean. Yes, wow, that was like 4 tangents, but still, we're back.
Um,
But yeah, I mean, Pirates of the Caribbean. I feel like that's one of those things where if you're not doing Johnny Depp, you're not doing Pirates anyway. So it's kind of like,
but even then, Johnny Depp by the fifth movie was phoning it in. He was the lead actor. Like,
yeah.
and also,
I mean,
like, I kind of push back on that idea because in the first three movies, Jack Sparrow wasn't really the main character. It was definitely Will and Keira Knightley's character. Like, it was definitely them.
mm-hmm.
Elizabeth, yeah, definitely Will and Elizabeth.
Yeah.
So, I think you could make a Pirates movie without him, and it would be fine. But he was definitely my favorite parts of the first three movies. So something would feel off, but I think it could be done. Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know. But apparently not with Margot Robbie. She's just not happening anymore. Like, okay. Something that is happening. Mandalorian Season 3 has been officially confirmed to be releasing on March 1st.
Woo!
So, yes.
That's great. Yeah, that's awesome. Because we're getting, isn't Bad Batch in January?
Yeah.
So by the time that's over, Mando gets started, or that might still be going. Because Bad Batch is a lot of episodes.
If it's 18 episodes again, and it starts even on January 1st, like that's not, I don't know.
Yeah, that's not going to make it.
No.
Okay. Do you think that show has too many episodes? Because they're usually one-offs, and like I feel like they're not really doing arcs like Clone Wars, so it kind of feels like it's too many. You know what I mean?
If they restructure the show to have the 3 to 4 episode arcs, it definitely could work. But the way they were doing it in season 1, like after the first 5 episodes, the next 10 episodes felt bad. It was hard to get through.
Well, like kind of pointless. It's like, oh, we're here. Okay, we're gone. Oh, we're here. Oh, we're gone. And like some were nice to have cameos, but I feel like most of the like half the cameos we didn't care about,
Right.
and the other half were like didn't really go anywhere. So it was kind of like, all right, this is cool, but are we doing anything with this? And it's like, no, that's pretty much it. And it's just like, dude, like what? But
I mean, it's definitely gonna be cool seeing Cody again. Like, I
yeah.
I went on record go like when this and Obi-Wan were first being pitched, I was like, one of these shows has Cody as a main villain. That just has to happen. And it's season 2 of that.
Here we go.
Yeah, cool. Makes
As
perfect
it should.
sense.
No. Yeah.
Um,
It's like it would bring, yeah. It's like, and again, it makes sense because it's like you like, again, this show has huge opportunity because it's like we love the clones, and like the show is about clones, so it's like just do more of that. It's just they're not bringing in a lot of the ones. Well, a lot of the ones we know died, but like a lot of the other ones are still, could still be around. So it's like, we can make this work. We can do this, but. I don't know. They kind of just they seem to lose focus a lot. Like they're kind of just, oh, we're on this random world for Sid or whatever, and then we're gone. And that's just kind of like,
yep.
We're not gonna, like, why can't we just run into anybody cool? Or why don't we, like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Like, especially since the weeks immediately after the Empire rose to power should be some of the most interesting time in all of Star Wars.
For
and
sure.
They're just kind of doing mercenary side missions that whole time. Like, they should be like on the front lines of like we should essentially be seeing how the universe is changing through their eyes. Like, go to different planets we've been to before, seeing, which they did a little bit of that.
You did with Ryloth, but like we've been to more planets than just Ryloth. Yeah. I want to see Coruscant. Like, that's what I want to see, because it's like, I feel like after episode 3, Coruscant just doesn't exist anymore, basically.
Have you seen Andor?
Like, no, I know, but
you
still.
Need to watch it.
I know. Everyone, dude, not a single person has said anything other than Andor that walks on water, basically. So it's
like once you hit episode 3, it is amazing. Like, you got to get through.
All right,
like episode 1 and 2 are set up, but like episode 3 on is fantastic.
All right, it's done, right?
Yeah, all 12 are out.
Like, how many episodes
12.
is it?
12.
Okay, all right. I think this weekend I'm gonna get going on it because I got time, and then just kind of.
Yeah. I was. When was it? I talk to my brother about stuff I'm doing all the time. Like, I tell him, like, just like with you, I've told him, like, you need to watch Andor. As soon as it ended, he unprompted was like started watching it and like started texting me like very like cryptic messages. Or like I was kind of able to like piece together, like, is he watching Andor? Like, then he like got to episode 3. He's like, wow, the show is really good now. So then over Thanksgiving break, I was home Friday through Sunday. We watched episode 4 through 10. Just like the entire episode 10 is just maybe some of the best television I've ever seen, let alone Star Wars. It is amazing.
Whoa.
And then 11 and 12 are also really good. So, yeah.
Whoa.
Get on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Each episode is like 35 minutes to 50, like 35 to 50 minutes at their longest. So just binge it. Do it.
Okay. I am going to do that, but yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Like, when stuff like, She-Hulk or Moon Knight or what these other like Marvel shows end, you're like, oh, I like the ride, and I'm upset. There's a little bit of me that like wants more after it's over. But like when yesterday was the first Wednesday in a while that there was no Andor, and I'm like, I'm just sad now. I want more.
It's left a hole in my heart. What am I going to do now to fulfill my need for Star Wars? I mean,
like,
there's
it's
other stuff.
and like I'm not exaggerating, and like I really hope I'm not gassing it up so much that he found it disappointing. But like
Nah, we all like
Andor
it.
was so good, I'm kind of afraid that Mandalorian season 3 is not going to feel good by comparison.
It's that good?
It is a very very different show for Mando, so like I don't know if the comparison is going to be possible really, but like just something about because like Mando is essentially nothing more than just like watching action figures fight each other. Like that is fine. Like I love that. You know, I love superheroes, etc. But like, you know, you just have a giant treasure chest full of Star Wars action figures. You know, like this week Ahsoka's in there. This week Luke Skywalker's in there. I'm gonna throw Boba Fett in there. That'd be fun. Like, which is cool.
Mix it all up.
Like I'm not complaining about that, but Andor thrived off of its tight and very like poignant writing and just the way any character they introduce, any characters that are like legacy characters they bring in, like feel like they actually have a purpose for not only the story but like for the rest of the greater world that they're setting up. Like some of it is a heist story, some of it's espionage, like some of it is just you actually get to see how the empire like actually kind of functions, and like you can see where the cracks, like they are very like authoritarian, they are very like we need to get this done a very specific way, but you can kind of tell like they're kind of dysfunctional, and that's kind of fun to watch. Like even though they are very structured and are very good at what they do, you can kind of tell like not all the higher ups get along. Like the Senate doesn't work. Mon Mothma is kind of a main character. You can kind of see how she
Mm-hmm.
is a part of the Senate, but like she's like kind of like trying to help the rebels on the side. And we every now and then we cut to the Senate chamber, and they're just like they're there, but they're not listening to anything she's saying, and like just it's this like you follow one very specific, actually two specific people in the empire, and just like how they function in that hierarchy, and it's just let alone the actual like Andor stuff, like everything happening with Andor, any side characters that interact with them, just it's all just very good. I'll shut up
All right. All right.
now.
I'm sold. I gotta get on it though. Everyone's telling me I gotta get on. I don't know. I'm always late to the shows. I don't know why. It's just like I never feel like watching it when they first come out, and by the time I'm on board, everyone else is like, "Yeah, you didn't know that was great yet," and I'm like, "I'm sorry, I'm waiting."
Again, watch episode 1 through
Um,
3 all in a row like that. I feel like that's how they
okay.
released them, which was very smart of them to do that, because I feel like if they did release it one at a time, like you know, episode 1 and 2 they were fine. Like the writing was good, but they weren't that exciting. Like if you're expecting like you're watching a Star Wars show to watch Star Wars stuff, and you're not really getting that at all in episode 1 and 2. I don't even think a blaster or like I don't even think a stormtrooper, like nothing like iconic Star Warsy showed up in this first two episodes.
Right.
But episode 3 is where it was all set up for episode 3, which is good. So
Right.
yeah, get on it.
Okay. Priority one.
But all that to say, Mando season 3 is happening. It is going to be good. And also, they already have confirmed Andor season 2, I think, for 2024. So there is stuff to look forward to with Star Wars, and that's always good. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moving on to other stuff. Let's see. Some weirdness is happening with Warner. We've known ever since the merger. Some weird stuff has been happening with Warner Brothers. Now Warner Brothers Discovery. Legendary Entertainment, who has made movies almost exclusively with Warner Brothers for a while now. You know who they are? Legendary. If you saw their logo, I'm sure you recognize it. They made the Godzilla movies. They made Dune. I think they partnered with, or they helped make Man of Steel. Uh,
Oh,
what else did they make? One second.
wait, they're called Trainwreck, or it is a Trainwreck?
What? Legendary Entertainment.
Did you say?
I,
Oh, I
I
think you said Trainwreck.
no.
Sorry, I don't know
Sorry.
why.
That's fine.
Yeah, you're just like what? And I was like, oh, sorry. No, Legend. No, they made a ton of stuff.
Yes.
No, I can see the logo in my head right now. Hang on.
Yeah. Godzilla, Dune, Pacific Rim. Huh. Actually, not Warner Brothers. Huh.
Godzilla for sure.
Did some work on
Sick
Christopher Nolan
World,
stuff.
Detective
Mm-hmm.
Pikachu, Dark Knight, Inception, Interstellar, all those Nolan movies.
Yeah.
Interstellar,
They worked with
300s,
that yeah Snyder on 300 and Watchmen.
mhm.
So yeah, they
All the Hangover movies.
yeah. So they largely worked with Warner Brothers, and every now and again go over to Universal to make
Hmm.
Jurassic World and Pacific Rim. So there's that. But they apparently are now no longer working with Warner Brothers at all and have signed an exclusive contract with Sony.
Dude, I swear these exclusive deals are just gonna ruin business. Like I don't. Ugh.
Yeah, like the part of the deal is that any IP that was owned by Warner Brothers is still going to stay over there. So Dune and
Mhm.
Godzilla and all that are still going to be made at Warner Brothers, but they're not going to be made by the same studio. Like, well, the I guess the people who make it are still going to be the same people. I guess. I guess theoretically not much will change. I guess the where they get their money from will be different. So technically, the budget could be different theoretically, but when you're working with hundreds of billions of dollars, it doesn't really matter. Doesn't really
True.
matter where it comes from.
I mean, money is money, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and Warner Brothers still has stuff like New Line Cinema, Warner Brothers Studios themselves. Like they still have plenty of studios they could just do, but it's not exactly good when when one of your main production studios is just leaves to go work with a competitor. That's not ideal. um, but sticking with some DC weirdness, or Warner Brothers weirdness, apparently Amazon is closing a deal for DC animated projects. Not HBO,
Uh,
Amazon Prime Video is gonna
no. Why? How are you letting that happen?
the, just like with Bob over at Disney. Apparently, the new guy over at Warner Brothers hates animation for some reason. You remember that Batman the
This
Cape?
is not good.
I agree, but you remember that Batman the Cape Crusader show that was? Yeah,
Yep.
this is apparently what that's gonna be. That was one of the shows that was on the chopping block for HBO Max. A Batman animated series was on the chopping block, and they're shopping around to Netflix and other places, and apparently Amazon is picking it up. So,
Like, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I don't think Amazon Prime is bad. It just doesn't make sense to like have
mhm,
properties not together. Like, why?
I
I
agree.
don't know. I don't know. And then what? We're gonna have Young Justice over there now. Which, granted, they should probably just act. I love that show, but they should probably just axe that show anyway at this point. 'Cause it's kind of
I think there's a
like
lot of things they could they could save it. They could.
they could.
I don't.
I mean, like, I know it's possible, but will they? Like, there have been great moments on an otherwise not great show. And it's kind of like, since the show has come back,
Hmm.
it has not been good as a
That's
whole.
right. That's
Like it
correct.
just hasn't. Like there have been great moments. There have been great some arcs that have been pretty good,
Hmm.
some a couple, but a lot of it has just been a public service announcement wearing a cape, and it's kind of annoying to be
Yeah,
honest.
like again, I don't disagree with the message at all, but it's the way you're doing it
No,
feels bad. It feels
it feels
preachy.
like
It feels forced. I don't even like really using that
yes,
word, but like this feels forced.
it feels really forced because it's like again, it's not they're not like a lot of people that like they're not even characters. They're just like I am this ideology go, and it's just
Harper
like
Row
we
exists solely to be a lesbian. That is her entire reason to be in this show.
well, that's the thing. She doesn't do anything else in the show.
I
I
don't
don't even know what your deal
like.
is.
I don't know really much about the
She's
character
just
from the comics. Maybe like maybe she doesn't have much personality in the comics either. But like when her entire character arc in the show, I know she like was abused by her dad, but that was also just another PSA about child abuse. So it's just,
like, well, no,
uh,
it's interesting because it's like I don't know if they're like building it, but like I mean, Hartha Rowe's supposed to be in Gotham City, like with Batman. Like she's
yes.
not like that's kind of my thing. It's like they're kind of just using the character because
Mm-hmm.
like, ooh, here's a gay character. Let's put her here, and it's like. But you're not even using her, which is saying a lot because they've used most of the other characters really well. So it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of random you're just kind of doing that. But it's like I don't know. I just feel like you're really, and it's like the weird like behind the scenes stuff because it's like some stuff is fine you know in there. It's like because I remember it was like oh yeah like this and that, and it's like, but it just kind of feels like now every episode is like we're learning about why this issue is bad. We're learning by why addiction is bad. We're learning about why this is, and it's just kind of like I thought this was a superhero show. Like this feels
Like
like I'm watching like
I feel like you can't have those messages so blatantly how they have them, and then
that's kind of
have
the
Lady
thing.
Shiva cut a man in half. You can't have those
No,
two
that's what
things.
I'm saying. Like, yeah, which was awesome by the way,
Oh,
which they
great!
cut that dude's twin
That
out. But
arc was
it's
the
still
best
like
arc in that entire season. Like,
exactly. But it's like after that we just feel so off base, and then at the end they try to wrap it all together with the Zod stuff, and like it kind of works, but it still kind of doesn't because it's kind of like how did we even get here? And it's like
yeah,
oh everything we went through, this everyone's adventure ties together. I'm like no, it doesn't. These
no,
people had no point of what was going on. Like don't try to make this work. You could have skipped you could have skipped everything with New Genesis. You could have
mm-hmm.
skipped everything with Zatanna's crew. You could have skipped. I mean, you honestly could have just gone from Mars and got here. I mean, honestly, you didn't need even the Legion. You didn't really need them. It was kind of just they were just there to like. You could have just had them show up at the end. And it would have had the same effect because they only did something every third episode anyway. So it
Yeah,
was like I don't know. It's fine, but for a show that has excellent setup, it has very much dropped the ball in terms of execution, and that's
mm-hmm.
really upsetting.
Yeah. Um, I don't. I don't know if a season 5 of that has been tossed around or
It's
whatever,
not
but like
greenlit right now.
not greenlit. Yeah, but it could. But well, I don't know. Maybe it'll is one of those shows over at Amazon. Um, but
Jeez.
but we know basically for a fact that that Batman the Cape Crusader show will be at Amazon, and Amazon's track record with with superhero animated shows has been pretty good. Like The Boys had their
It's
animated
true.
show, Invincible obviously. Like they, you know, those are definitely
Yeah, it's really
not
good.
bad. Um, I hope they're not constrained to the normal Amazon formula of hour long 8 episodes per season, because like I feel like cartoon like this should probably stick to the 22 to 30 minute, you know, 12 to 18 episode season, but whatever they do,
It
it's
would
fine.
depend on how they do it. I don't think it's impossible, but yeah, it does feel like something that after 22 minutes it would feel a little bit like you're trying to like make it overstretching it. But
Mm.
if they can, I mean, because again, animation can work in that style, so it kind of just depends on how they go about it. Now, a kid show generally is not that long because kids don't have that long of an attention span.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see what they do.
Yeah. Like maybe with it being on Amazon, there that'll be allowed to like be a little more. I don't want to say like gritty, but like a little like push the envelope a little more and like
Mm-hmm.
show some blood, be a little more violent, just like like
Yeah,
more on the level of like probably what Batman would
have
realistically be.
real weapons, not just laser blasters and
Yeah.
stuff.
But again, that's probably a few years down the line before that's actually going to be anything. But it's interesting to know that Amazon is going to have DC stuff, even though DC should have their own service. But whatever. Um, Speaking of Amazon and also Sony stuff, weirdly enough, Amazon has also apparently ordered multiple Spider-Man universe Marvel
Mm-hmm.
shows from Sony. The first being a Silk show, which is a character I know very little about, but she's a woman who has spider powers.
No, no, she's a cool character.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, her whole thing is it's this Asian girl. I think she's Vietnamese, I want to say, but I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
This Asian girl who was bit originally by the same spider that was bit Peter Parker,
Ah,
which is cool because she gets powers. But it's bad because in one talk
oh
it has this
no,
thing where they have this like weird
even
like
that.
instinct attracted to each other where it's like weird, like they hate each other, but they have this like weird mating thing. It's really funny. But it gets Peter in a lot of trouble, by the way. But
Isn't oh
yeah,
I
so
imagine yeah. Isn't there also a
yeah.
thing? Isn't there also a just insane thing where like in each individual universe there's like one person who's like a spider totem and like who somehow protects the web of reality or something and like her being bit with the same spider somehow messes with that web of reality. Am I
You
making
know
that up?
what? I wouldn't know. I'll be honest. I don't have that much knowledge of Spider-Man comics,
Mm.
to be honest. So I wouldn't be able to tell you that. But you know, I think this is a great move because again, I think this is a character that a lot of people who read comics know a lot about,
Mm.
but anyone who doesn't don't really. So I think that's always a good place because again, spider people as far as Spider-Man and all them, like it works. So
Mm.
yeah, go for it. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, and I think I heard that Phil Lord and Chris Miller are going to be at least executive producing this, so it'll at least
Okay,
have the same vibe as Spider Verse stuff.
that
So
works.
that definitely does. Yeah,
Add her to the squad.
yeah. Um, so that's good. I'm never going to turn down more Spider-Man stuff, unless
Nope.
it's that dumb Marvel Spider-Man on Disney XD from 2017, which was
Oh
terrible.
well, they can't all be bangers. Most Spider-Man animated stuff is great.
And then again, Ultimate Spider-Man also wasn't great either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Spectacular was great. The '90s one's great. And I'm
Yep.
trying to think, it's probably
Yeah, my
another one.
roommate and I just got past the whole Venom arc in Spectacular, and yeah, that show is very very good.
Yeah, man, just wait, dude. Just wait till you get to. Oh man, it gets even better.
Okay. um. So the last story I have is a very funny one, I think. Apparently, Avatar 2 needs to be the fourth or fifth highest grossing film ever in order to be profitable.
Really?
Yes. It's
Wait,
this
how much did they spend on this movie? What is the
this
budget
movie's
for this movie?
been in production for over 10 years now, off and like on and off. So yeah, they probably pumped at least $300 million into the thing, if not up to 400, 500. Like it is a lot.
$400 million. Yeah, okay, they gotta get on it then. But I mean, here's my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially, they have the fact because again, there's not a lot coming out when it comes out, and
Yeah.
It does. It is a sequel to a very proper movie last time. I don't think. I still say I don't think it's gonna make as much as the last one by any means. I think it might get half as much, but half as much of the second highest movie ever is still a lot of money.
Yeah. So
So
here's the current top 10 highest grossing movies of all time. Number 10, Furious 7. Number 9 is The First Avenger.
really,
Yeah.
did not see
$1.5
that
billion.
coming.
Yeah.
Okay,
Top Gun
okay.
Maverick is actually number 11. Wow, that's.
Oh yeah, no, that
Yeah.
movie crushed it at the box
I knew it
office.
did a lot. I didn't
That
know it
one
was
makes
number 11.
sense.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
number 10 is Furious 7. Number 9 is The Avengers. Number 8
yeah.
is that stupid Lion King live action remake. $1.66 billion for that. Anyway.
I mean, it's the Lion King. Like everyone loves that movie, so they're
Yeah.
gonna go see
They
it.
like the
And then
original.
it's like, well, yeah, I know, but it's live action this time. You know the thing, and
Whatever.
and I'm not gonna lie, that cast was pretty insane. I mean, they
Yeah.
had
Yeah, the
everybody.
cast is good. But
Yeah, so
whatever.
it's like, you when you buy the ticket, you don't think, I mean, I only went to see it once, but I mean, I still paid my money.
Yeah.
So,
Number 7 is Jurassic World. Number 6 is Spider-Man: No Way Home, which is at 1.9 billion, and then
oof.
Avengers: Infinity Wars 2.048 billion. So this movie needs to make Star Wars: Force Awakens money at 2.07
I for,
billion.
I forgot that movie was huge. I was like,
Yes.
what? I was trying to think, what's bigger than Infinity War? I was like, yeah, no. When that first Star Wars came back, yeah,
Yeah.
that was ginormous. I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
So the top
That was
five,
what, like 2015?
2015. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the top 5 are Infinity War, Force Awakens,
Force
Titanic,
Awakens.
Endgame, Avatar.
Yeah, okay. Wait, is Avatar number one again?
It's been re-released in theaters a couple of times. So yeah, it's over.
Boo!
Yeah.
It's not. It's just blue people. It's not even that. I don't know. It's fine. I don't know.
So it
I
needs
have a
to.
friend who.
Yeah.
I have a friend who like really like defends and really likes the movie, and I feel bad because it's like I. I don't know. I need to watch the movie again, but I don't want to. But I think I'm going to.
Two
Is
hours
it
and 40
anywhere?
minutes. I don't care. So long.
No.
So yeah, it needs to at least break $2 billion in order to be profitable. And like maybe it could do it, but I don't. I don't know. Like you said, since nothing is really coming out this December, it's looking currently tracking to have a pretty big opening weekend. But I don't even know if it's being released in China. If it's not released in China, it is definitely not making that. But if it is, it could.
No.
Because that's one reason why No Way Home didn't do as well as it
Makes
could
sense.
have, because it didn't ever release in China.
It didn't. It
No,
still made $1.9 billion.
Yeah, yeah.
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if they had China, that would have made like
It,
two. Wait, why did they not release in China?
it
Do we know?
it's very complicated, but two reasons. One, there's a couple of things that like Disney has done and said that like made China upset, but also most likely because the climax took place around the Statue of Liberty, and for some reason China doesn't like showing like major American landmarks in their movies.
Huh?
Yeah, I don't know.
But it's in New York City. It's very clearly stated that.
Yeah, they don't care.
Okay. Okay. Well, all right. Whatever. Whatever. They have their rules. Whatever. Respectfully. Whatever.
um, but yeah, maybe.
It's not even the real Statue of Liberty. It's like a Captain America shield. It doesn't really look like. Never mind. Like, I don't know. Like it's not like. I mean, it's not even like accurate. So it's like, is that really matter? Like,
Yeah, yes, it does.
yeah, clear. Apparently, it's yes, but all that to say, okay, well then.
So if Avatar can release in China, then it has a chance. But if it doesn't, it could. I if I were a betting man, I would very easily put money on this movie making over $1 billion. I don't think that'll necessarily be a hard hurdle to jump over. Like I said, it is releasing in prime time, mid-December with nothing else really coming out. It is now a franchise movie. James Cameron is a big name. Like it has a lot of stuff going for it. And the first one is the biggest movie ever made, so it clearly has a fan base, so it could do it. But will it? I don't know. I don't know.
Guess we'll find out. I don't know. Are you going to go see it
No.
in theaters?
I'm not seeing that movie in theaters. I'm not seeing a movie that James Cameron literally said it's okay to go to the bathroom during this movie because you're going to go see it again. I'm not giving that man my money.
Did he really say that?
Yeah, he literally said, I know it's over 3 hours, but you're going to see it again, so you can just go to the bathroom whenever. And next
You're
time you
going to
go
see it again.
Next
That
time
is
you go see it,
bold,
go to
my
the bathroom
man.
some other times so you don't miss it.
There are,
Like, come on.
there are certain movies I watch many times. We'll see if this is one of them. I don't know
I've
about
only
that.
seen The Batman twice. Like, I'm not.
I think the movie I've seen the most times in theaters is the first Black Panther movie. I think I saw that like 4 times. Because opening night, then with my friends, then with my family, then with my friends again.
I've seen several movies twice. I don't think I've ever seen anything more than that. At least not that I can think of. But yeah, I'm not watching Avatar more than once, if at all.
I'm probably gonna go see it because my friend, we're movie people, so it's like when something's out, we gotta go. Whether it's good or bad, if it's big enough, we kind of have to go. So
Right.
it's kind of like, all right. Plus, I feel like we talk about it enough that it's only fair to go see it. So
I guess. I don't.
he said,
I don't
that's
have,
great for you.
I don't have the integrity for that.
That's fair too. It's like
I don't need to.
all right, you have fun.
As long as one of us does it, it's all that matters.
Good enough.
Yep. Anyway, you want to talk about Pokemon for a while now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, obviously, I've been playing so much Pokemon Scarlet.
I'm sure.
Do you have Violet? Is that what you have?
I have Violet, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It is probably the best Pokemon game. Just bar none. It is a janky mess. It should not have been released in the way that it is. I haven't seen any of the major glitches that people have reported. Like my game hasn't crashed. I haven't clipped through the stage or clipped through the ground or anything. I haven't seen a Pokemon and just run through it because it's not actually there. I haven't had anything duplicate or just I haven't had anything crazy happen. There was one time where I was
no serious bugs.
There was one time I was jumping on my mount, Koraidon, and right before I landed, I just kind of got stuck in midair, and I could move left and right, but I couldn't land. So I couldn't even open the map to fly anywhere. And then after 10 seconds, I got teleported back on the ground. I was like, okay, they have a failsafe for this. And there was another, probably favorite glitch I saw was I was coming up to a bridge, and a fish Pokemon called Basculin was just hopping on the bridge. It's supposed to be in the water. He was on the bridge, so I just
drowning or is it suffocating?
No, he's just hopping. And out of curiosity, I bump into him, and the Pokemon that I sent out was sent out on one of those little floaty devices that they would.
The little raft things.
Yeah, but it was on the bridge, so it's the game thinks this is water, even though it is clearly not. And then so I ran out of that battle, and the Basculin just jumped off the bridge onto the land, even further away from the water. So I tried again, and now that we were actually on land, my guy didn't just send out on land. The Basculin was just on land. I was well,
walking around.
okay. So those are the only two like real like crazy glitches I saw,
Hmm.
but the frame rate is still garbage.
Yes, that's what
Things
I was gonna say because it's like
it
you're
chunks.
going towards something and it's just pixels, and then all of a sudden, oh, there's a person. It's like,
Yeah, popping is terrible. There's so many times I'm just running and like Pokemon just like spawns in front of me or like a person's just there or
yes,
whatever. So this game was probably not ready to come out. It probably could have used another
definitely
like
not.
half a year in the cooker. I completely acknowledge that. However, the core gameplay, the story, and like everything you do in this game are exactly what I've always wanted out of the Pokemon game.
Boom.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I mean, it's a lot of fun. First of all, I like that it's not just, all right, get the gyms, go. It's like there's more to do. Like there's the gyms, there's the Titans, there's like Team Star or whatever. Like there's
Mm-hmm.
stuff going on. And those things have stories going on. Like there's a lot that goes on. Like you're not just kind of just doing one thing and just got like there's options, there's this. And then like you said, you can kind of just go. Like it's just kind of like, all
Mm-hmm.
right, go catch them all. Good luck.
Yep.
And it kind of is like Zelda. It's kind of like you kind of just show up and like you can go that way, you can go that way, you can go that way. It might be harder going this way than that way, but I mean, I'm not saying you can't. Especially when you can like update your like the legendary right onto what kind of like like you can jump higher or you can go over water and stuff and like it's really cool. So it's like I don't know. I really like it because it feels like very much open world game. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
I really like how I like how you kind of like I don't know if it's the Pokédex or whatever, but it remembers Pokemon that you've seen before,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, oh, this was super effective last time, so it just tells you. You don't have to
Oh
look
yeah.
it up. I have this like I have like the chart on my phone. I don't have to use it as much anymore. I'm like, oh, thank goodness,
Yeah,
because
they've been
like
doing that
used
since
to
Gen
like
7,
write
which is
down.
very nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
see, I'm coming with like the last Pokemon game I like actually played was like Gen 3, so like everything's like
yeah.
new to me, which is great.
uh,
But it's like it's just great, but it's still like okay, cool. Like a lot of this stuff is cool. The present take like the battles look good.
mm-hmm.
Like they look great. I love how you can like you see everything. You can like angle it however you want. Like you can.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many options, and also I will say this.
Yes.
I know. I think you liked it that the trainers weren't automatically triggered, but I
Uh,
kind of miss it. I'm not gonna lie.
I I so okay. So I think I do see what you're saying, but I think they struck a decent balance where yes, every trainer was optional, but almost every Pokemon Center you find throughout the region, there's a guy who gives you a reward if you battle X number of trainers. So they do still encourage you to battle them, which
Right.
I think is a very like they don't deliberately break up the gameplay, but if you do want to battle them, then you can seek them out. I think that's a good balance for that.
Yeah,
Um,
they make it more of a completionist thing than like a gauntlet just to get anywhere.
yes, yes. I will say the lack of double battles is very concerning.
That's what I was thinking. Because like at first I thought, okay, it's the first long time that, but like I think I've got 4 badges and I haven't had one yet, so I'm kind of like,
From memory, I think there's only 4 double battles in the entire game, and the only double battles in the entire game are only for the gym challenge and then the gym leader of one of the gyms, and that's it. Like
hmm,
nowhere else, no random like double trainers, no random person throws out 2 guys. There's never a
yeah,
time where you team up with your rival or whatever, which is a very
yeah.
classic thing to happen. No, just
Do you
never
think it's
happens.
because of that like the like group Pokemon thing now? They're trying to like because like it kind of
Hmm.
has a not similar, but kind of have a team-ish vibe. It almost feels like a role-playing game where you have like each your party members against the boss or something. even though for the most part they're pretty easy. But
Well,
so I got clapped one time,
yeah, I haven't done too many of
but
those yet, but something similar was there in Sword and Shield. Yeah, that game had at least a couple of double battles. Um, there
okay.
weren't as many of those as there were in previous games, but they were still around. Um, like it's not a huge deal. It's just something to kind of break up the monotony of. Even though there is a much bigger variety of things you can do, especially like once you get further in the game, every now and then you're like, I wish this thing could be just a little different, but it's not a huge deal. It is something I noticed that I kind of missed. So how you said you have 4 badges? How many of the Titans or Team Star people have you done?
I think I've got. I should just go get my Switch. I think I have 4 gym
Mm-hmm.
badges. I've got, I want to say, 3 Titans or 3 Titans, I think, and then 2 Team Star
Mm-hmm.
badges. So like I'm like definitively like halfway
Oh
ish.
yeah, yeah, that's good. Um,
You probably finished it already, didn't you?
I I am definitively in the post game, which is
Okay.
still there is still story, but it's like I beat the Elite Four. I beat all the like major trainers before. You know that big area in the middle they tell you not to go to, Area
Yeah.
Zero. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm about to go there, which
Okay. Post game.
I guess
Okay.
post game.
Nice.
Yeah. Um,
Okay. Cool.
yeah, just the writing of this game is some of the maybe the best Pokemon's ever done. Just like every character feels very real. Like they all have just
Mhm.
their own little like every gym leader since forever has had their little like quirks, their little thing they do. But this game is feels very like it doesn't just feel like they're a character. It feels like they actually have personality more than just I have fire types, so I'm going to use fire puns. Like that's um,
Yeah. I'll say this
mhm.
too, and like this. Okay, again, this goes back to me not knowing because I've been up back to Gen 3, but like I thought it was weird how there were not like goons at the gyms for the most part, at least that I've run into yet. Like it's kind of just do this random thing and then fight the boss, and it's kind of like I like how they're mixing it. How long has that been a thing? Is that new for this game, or
so
has that always been a thing?
they had the very standard gym battles, like the very standard gym like system all the way from Gen 1 to Gen 6. And then in Gen 7 they completely took away gyms entirely and added a different boss system uh, where you like went through a little like area, did a little challenge, and then fought like a bigger, beefed up Pokemon, and that kind of acted as your gym battle for that area. And then in
Okay.
Gen 8, they went back to gyms, but they added the gym challenge, where there are trainers throughout, but you have to like do like there's very different challenges depending on the on the gym, and then they kind of expanded on that more in this game, where some of some of them are just you do a couple of battles in a row. Some of them are you go find a Sunflora for some reason. Like there is, I think from memory, I think there's always at least one battle somewhere in the challenge. But yeah, there was something very cathartic about just like going through a gym, fighting 5 goon or fighting 5 junior trainers, and then getting to the gym leader. But I do like how they because the I lost train of thought. Oh well, but yeah, I since I have been playing very consistently throughout, forever, I don't mind them changing up the formula. But for someone who goes straight from Gen 3 to Gen 9, it can feel a little disorienting, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's different. Again, I don't dislike it. I guess I was just kind of I don't say I guess disappointed because I don't know. I'm a bit and not just with Pokemon, but just with most games. As much as I like doing like other stuff, I'm very much a all right. I'm stronger than you. Let's run it. Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I like doing that for any kind of game. That's why I love Kingdom Hearts 2 because it's pretty much just you, them, and somebody's gonna get me dropped. Like that's pretty much it. It's like, and again, I think I like that it has other elements to it. Like you got to find, and it's all easy stuff. It's not like it's hard. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's like, oh, find this person. Person's like on your map. Oh, okay. Well, that wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. But it's like, but I guess it was just, and again, just having one battle. Granted, the battles have been pretty hard because I didn't think I was going to have any struggles because I'm like, oh, well, I know what element they're all coming out or what type they're all coming out in, so I know what to do. And then it's like they hit you with a random, like, and they hit, and then you get hit with a random rock throw, and you're like, oh, well then. Like, I had to basically cheat, and I forgot what move it was, but it's the move where it's like, if the Pokemon that makes this Pokemon faint after this move also faints or whatever.
Destiny Bond.
But, yes. That's my new best friend. That's the only way that I beat the last gym I took on because I was not gonna get.
What's your team?
I have right now. I've got the Grass Starter, the Masquerade now, which is great, which also looks really funny. I really like it. Or Meowscarade. I've got that. Yeah. I found a Raichu, which is awesome.
Okay.
I've got a Dig Trio, Gyarados, what is the you can tell I haven't played all week because I can't think of the other two. I know I have a couple other ones.
What knows Destiny
Bond? That I can't think of at the top. I think it's the it's my bug type one. It's like a giant bee, but I forget what it's called. It's not like Beedrill. I don't think they have Beedrill, but it's like a queen bee. I call it queen bee because it's a female giant. Queen.
Yeah.
Probably, yes. Yeah. I think that one was Destiny Bond.
And then, yeah, they were Destiny Bond.
Yeah. And then it's I'm trying to think. I know there's one more that I'm totally blanking on. What is? Hang on. What? Get. Oh. Give me a second. Let me go. This is gonna bother me. Hang on. Let me grab it.
I'm gonna tell him this when he gets back, but it is incredibly funny that he's playing Gen 9 and he's only using previous Gen Pokemon. Look at how he doesn't.
Let's re-download. Sorry, it was gonna bother me if I didn't think of it, but no, I will say though, this is probably. I mean, this is the most fun I've had with Pokemon and forever. I mean, it's amazing because it's like you said, it's super open world. Like you can go anywhere. Again, the story's simple, but I think it's like, first of all, the fact that there is like a story is really cool because I mean, it's, and I kind of like it. I like being able. Also, you can customize your character as much as you want. I know that's been a thing for a while, but I love
the customization options is actually like there's actual fewer customization options than there were in previous games, but it is nice that is an option. Well, as far as let me put it this way, like what you wear, there are fewer options for what you wear, but like your actual like face and hair and stuff, that is completely new to like completely like change your eye shape, lips, hair, everything like that is completely new. But as far as what you wear, there's way fewer options for that. But I never really cared much about fashion anyway, so it didn't matter.
I know. I don't know. I just like that kind of black character. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just think
that is nice. That's been
that's kind of cool. Like I'm not. Yeah, I mean, I'm not like the hugest like. Oh yeah, diversity and all things. Well, like, I don't know. I think it's kind of cool. They kind of looks like. It's funny because my character looks like my brother. And it's really funny because it's like If my brother was that age, looks exactly like that.
Uh,
Okay, so yeah, we've got the Masquerade, Vespiquen, Gyarados, Doug Trio. Oh, okay, Raichu, and then I've got a Sawbuck. Okay,
awesome.
that's six, right? Yeah, that's
Yeah,
six. Yeah,
I
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what. So
I find it
go ahead.
very funny that you're using outside of your starter, all five of your other Pokemon are previous gen Pokemon.
Yep, because they're the ones I recognize.
That's not,
Because I recognize, I'm like, oh, I know what to do with this one. Because like I knew, like, because I saw Doug Trio, and I was like, oh, I already know I'm about to kill Dig, because that was like my favorite move in like Gen 1.
mm,
So you can dodge and crush everybody. Yeah, and then like, yeah, no. And Raichu was cool because I found it wild, and I was just like, because I thought I didn't know what it was, and I was like, oh, that's not even Pikachu, it's Raichu, which is
mm,
cool, but it was crazy strong. I had to like, I caught it, but I couldn't control it for the longest time, so
mm,
I had to go and beat some gyms.
mm-hmm.
Which I know that's a fail safe, and I get it, but it kind of just like, I don't know. I feel like if you catch it, you should be able to control it.
That's how they did it in Gen 8, where you just couldn't catch anything above the badge level. But I think this is again like a pretty nice compromise. Where like, yes, you can catch it, but it won't like you. I don't know, it won't
Yes,
respect
which
your
I'm
moves.
like, yeah, no, it's like it'll do some. I noticed it'll do some of your moves, but not all of them.
Uh,
And I don't know. I think it's funny because it's like, oh, like this is like, yeah, like I caught it, I mean, I was like, oh yeah, I got an Ultra Ball, I'll catch this thing because it was level 60, and I'm like, great, this thing's super powerful, and then it's like, oh man, I'm not gonna be able to catch this for like three more gems, and
uh,
I'm just kind of like, so now I like have it, but I'm pretty much just put it in the box. Also, the box is accessible at any time.
mm,
Awesome,
yep,
super awesome.
yep.
That is something I love. I know that's probably been a thing forever, but
Since
I love that.
since Let's Go
And,
Pikachu and Eevee, so not until the Switch came out did they implement that, but that's very good.
okay,
Yeah,
okay, that's pretty recent then.
yeah.
Also,
Hmm.
you can relearn forgotten moves.
Yes. The,
Love that. That is the great. That's probably my favorite
mm,
thing out of everything because I didn't realize it till like halfway through, and I was just like, and again, Pokemon you find that are a certain level, you're
mm,
not stuck with whatever they have. You can go back and say, no, you need this move. You don't need that move. You don't need this move. And you can like, I mean, that means you can ultimate customize your team. So
yep.
every Pokemon has one move for anything. And it's like, you
Hmm.
can bake anything with your part. And like, that's the goal. That's what I always like to do. I like to have enough variety to take down anything.
Yep. They've been kind of they've been working on that since Gen 7, since Gen 8, where like up until from Gen 2 until Gen 7, yeah, they you had to find a certain person, give them an item, and then they can help you remember stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But in Gen 8, it was just at the Pokemon Center. There was just a person there that just let you remember stuff for free. But you still had to go to a Pokemon Center to do it.
Right.
And then in Legends Arceus, anywhere you are, you can go to the Pokemon menu and like remember a move, and you can remember whatever. And then in this game,
Yes.
like, they kept that, but I was going into this game, I was a little concerned that they went back to the thing about which you never actually experienced. They went back to the thing where TMs are not reusable because Gen 5 through 8 TMs or you can use them as many times as you want. But then in this game
Nice.
they got rid of that, and I was a little concerned about like the difficulty of crafting new ones or finding new ones. But no, they're everywhere, and also you can craft them
Yeah.
super easily. But also if you teach a Pokemon a TM and you delete it, it's still in their remember list.
Yes,
So good,
exactly.
so good.
That's right. You don't accidentally. No, I didn't mean to copy. Oh.
Yep.
And that, dude, I have done that so many times where I just reset my game because I was like, nope, I copied the wrong move. But now
You can just
I don't have to
yeah.
because you can just. That's so
And
cool. Like,
there's always been this existential dread of like, oh, do I teach him this move will this be better than this other
Yes.
move? Like I don't like I like just this like cost benefit analysis of like I know this move is good, but is it better than this other thing? But now I'm like, wait, I don't. I
Right.
can just try it out. Like I don't. It's not a big deal.
That's exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I was so glad I figured that out. Because at first I was like, "Ah, man, I really like this move, but this move's objectively better. But this one looks so cool. But oh, it's like, okay. This one never misses, and it's always crit. So let me do this one, and then you're like,
uh,
oh,
yeah,
I can go back. That.
yeah.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. So it's like this move's awesome, but this move looks so cool, and it's
Uh,
like, oh, and then you can have them both. So it's like, okay,
mm,
that's fine. Like, I think that's great. Honestly, I think it would be more interesting almost if you could like have all of them at all times, but it's just like, you know what? I'll just take any four I want. I'm fine with that. I'm not gonna.
now, for a
I don't know.
competitive sake, there needs to only be four
Yeah,
attacks.
yeah. I
But
mean, you don't want to. That would be kind of unfair.
mm,
Do you? Okay.
mm.
With the whole like, what is it?
Terrestrializing, I
Terralize?
think, yeah.
Terrassalize? What do you think about that?
Um, it it is a gimmick that I think. Let's put it this way. I think as a gimmick, it is going to be super interesting competitively, but as far as like its implementation during the story, I think there was some improvement that could be done. Like I really liked. You've done what four gym? What was the last gym that you did? Was it water,
I want to
electric,
say psychic,
psychic?
but I'm
Oh,
not.
okay.
I don't know.
Um,
Dude, I have no idea. Hang on. I'm probably still there. Let me see. I don't even. I am. Where am I? Also, the buttons on this game are not what I expected them to
mm,
be,
yeah.
but I will take them because it's like, oh, the start menu, but like not, and it's like, what? Let's see. That's the Titan. That's 10.
There's
Yeah,
not
psychic. Yeah,
okay. There's not a super easy way
yeah.
to like find out your just to realize your progress. Like you can't like see your badges
Well,
all
no,
by
you can
yourself.
zoom. You can like zoom out, and it has the numbers though.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think because I know in previous games they're like you can see what badges you've collected. I don't think there's a
Mm,
badge screen anymore, but um,
not really. I think you can like dig and find it, but it's not really helpful.
yeah.
But yeah, water and then psychic, they're
Okay.
about the same.
Okay. So I do really like certain gym leaders how they terrestrialize them because there are certain ones that like terrestrialize into a type that visually you would think they are anyway, like the grass one terrestrialized Sudowoodo into a grass type. He's a tree. He should be grass. I know he's whatever. Like he looks like a tree, so why not make him grass?
Yeah,
Or
it
the water
works.
guy has a big crab. He's not actually water type, but he makes him a water type. But then as when you get to the Elite Four, they only have one type, and then they terrestrialize that type just into like you know, I don't want to spoil anything, but like you know,
Yeah, it's fine.
there's a steel one. Their final Pokemon is a steel type. They just terrestrialize into a steel type, so those steel type moves are stronger, but it also removes a secondary type it had. So it's just I don't know, like
And doesn't it make it like more weak to that
I
weakness
don't think
potentially?
so. I think it just makes the steel type move stronger.
Okay.
But
I didn't know if it was like a double edged
I
sword
don't
kind of
think so.
thing.
I think
Because
the only
I know sometimes, because I know the water gym, I was able to like one shot everything with my starters because it was just like turtle's eyes, and I was just like,
yeah
like
yeah that was
I
just
was like,
because
okay.
grass is good against water.
Well, right, but it's like I don't know if that like I don't know because I don't know. I think it depends because I thought I heard that, but maybe that's just my like Mega Man Battle Network brain just assuming that like that's how it
Actually
works
no.
in
I know for a
those
fact it's
games.
not the case because I specifically remember one time fighting my rival, and she terrestrialized her fire type into a fire type, and I had my water
Right.
shudder out, and I used the strongest water move against it I had, and I actually terrestrialized my water type into a water type and used a strong water move on it, and it didn't kill it. I guarantee
Huh.
if I terrestrialize into a water type
Yeah.
and then use it against the fire type, it should kill. Like if it's
Yeah.
double
No,
damage,
that
it
would.
should no. So yeah, it doesn't do that.
Yeah, no, because it would be double time, double again,
Yeah,
because you powered up and they powered. So it would be, yeah, I guess
yeah.
not, probably not.
Um,
But still, I mean, I think it's, I think, yeah, like you said, I think when, like, as far as like people competitively, I think it's gonna be cool because they're gonna like figure it out. Like, oh yeah, you're gonna have, especially with normal types. Like, if you have a normal
mm,
type and you can terrestrialize something else, like
yes.
a lot of variety in there. I think
Or
it's gonna
like
be really cool. But
terrestrializing like Tyranitar, who's usually rock dark, into a ghost type who's immune to fighting, who is their
mm,
main weakness before. Like just defensively and offensively, I think there's a lot of cool things you could do with it. But in the game is just
it's
another
really
thing that you
smart.
just like kind of expect. Oh, their last Pokemon is going to terrestrialize into the type that they have. It's just it's a little
Yeah,
it just I don't know like, and I never found them
you
to
want a
be
little
that.
more challenge there.
Yeah, I never really found them to be that much more powerful when they are terrestrialized. Maybe it's because I just had teams that were good against whoever, but like I don't know, just it kind of slowed down the pace a little bit. However, it didn't matter that much since battles are very snappy, so it didn't matter
Yeah.
too much. But it, it it's not the worst gimmick, but it's also not the best. So it's fine either way. Um,
Fair enough.
I the one like the number one thing I really wanted out of this game did happen to me where you know how during the water gym trial you had to like follow him to that other city.
Hmm.
After I was there, I went north, I guess, and just I haven't been over there yet, so I went up to explore a little bit, and just north, my Pokemon are like level 30s ish. Up there, I was like attacked by some big bird. I don't remember what it was. And it was like, oh, 52. Like, oh,
Yep.
I'm gonna go. I don't need to be
Yep.
here.
No, that. Yeah, no, that's kind of like how it like the game kind of politely corrects you. You're going the wrong way because that
uh,
happened to me too. I was like level like 25, and then there's like a 42, and I was just like, oh, that ain't good. And of course you're like, of course I'm like, okay. I'm like, we can do this. We can figure this out. We can do it. We can. And then of course it's like, no, you can't. Your everything is just one shot. It like, and after three faints, I'm like, okay, time to
uh,
run. But no, but again, I like it though because it's very like, I don't know. I think I started out of order. I don't know if there is an official order or not. I'll have to go back and see. Like after I finish, I'm gonna
mm,
go figure out and see because I know you can go left or right and you can like kind of just go from there.
yeah.
But I
The
don't know.
I've
I've
seen.
always liked the freedom.
Yeah, I love the freedom, and like there is technically a correct order of doing things level wise, but the way level wise, it's not just like a big loop. Essentially, like level wise, you theoretically should go left to the bug gym, and then go right to the first Titan, then to the grass gym, and then to a different Titan over here, and then back over to the electric lady, and then down. Like
Yeah,
there's a lot of like going
he
back and
kind of
forth.
zigzagging almost.
Yeah,
Okay, I kind of like that because I think they would assume most people just wouldn't do that.
right. Whereas if you did go left and kept going left, you would run into like level 30s and 40s pretty quickly. So I do like how the game like kind of again like you said subtly suggests like hey maybe don't go here yet like explore somewhere else first. So
Yeah,
yeah
yeah, it was funny because like I kind of like forced my way through, and then I come back the other way, and I'm like level 15, and I'm like,
oh yeah
oh yeah, I probably was supposed to go this
yeah which is another
way.
reason why I kind of think random trainers not seeing you and attacking you immediately it does help with this because like if you're going a certain way and like if like I said, just past the who is supposed to be the first gym, they get strong pretty quickly. If you're going that way,
Yeah,
someone ambushes you in the level 30s, you might feel discouraged. But if they're an optional fight, that I think that's better
that's a good point.
exploration wise. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and I guess it does kind of add. I think the optionalness does make it feel a little more freeing,
Hmm.
just in general to explore. Because I think they're trying to make this game much more about exploration than just go here, do the thing.
Oh yeah.
But no, it's definitely pretty awesome. But I like it a lot. I'm a fan. I'm glad I got this one like as everyone else got it because I like discussing it with people.
Hmm. Yeah, and they've already said that, or at least Nintendo has said that they're intending on releasing future patches that will
Oh
help
yeah.
with things, make it a better user experience. Whatever vague language they use just to like cover
Yeah.
all their bases. But you know, I assume this game will get DLC just like Sword and Shield did. So probably around the time that DLC comes out, it'll be like, at least improved. So
But it's really good. I like it a lot. Again, like you said, the story, though it's not a big story for Pokemon, it's really
oh
good.
yeah,
So like,
yeah. It just the fact that they were able to not only have a really good story, not only successfully have these three different missions you can go on, but still making it feel like you're. Let's put it this way: feel like you're still playing the same game, but also like breaking up the monotony of just battling. Because the time is not just you battle it. There's like two phases to it. Like there's just like you have to like chase
you gotta
them or do other
find it
things.
too.
Yeah, and then the Team Star raids, like the way you have to like send
Yeah,
out three
those are
players, those are
interesting.
fun. Yeah,
Yeah, like they're kind of just you got to just kind of throw your guys out there and they kind of
yeah.
just do this and then you fight the boss and the bosses are actually pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're those like car things or whatever.
Rev
They're
of
kind of
Room,
cool,
yeah.
but
The fact that they
yeah.
finally perfected. I've wanted this for so long. I've wanted it for so long where you actually get to fight a boss character that's technically a Pokemon, but not a catchable entity. Because, like, you're fighting a big car where the Pokemon is just like the engine of the car, but that being the part of this big car makes it stronger. So, like, but you
Mhm.
can't catch the big car, and it even knows moves that Revavroom itself cannot learn. I love that so much. like the like it actually feels like an RPG now. Like this is like an
Hmm.
actual
It does
boss
feel
character.
very much like an RPG boss. It's like, oh, you have to like see what's this one gonna do. It's got the big health bar and everything, so it's
Mm,
like, all right, let's go.
yeah, like like the fact that it's so good at encouraging exploration. It's like catching stuff is fun. Battles is very very quick and snappy. It all comes together very very well. If the game ran even like
Music's awesome.
10% smoother, I'm sure everyone would unanimously agree that it's at least top three best game. But because there are those issues it does have, like
Wow.
people have, I'm having a blast. Like this, the most fun I've ever had in a Pokemon game. I think like it is very good.
Wow.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Oh man.
Because
I knew it's good, but man, really number one, you think so?
not number one favorite. Nostalgia is hard to beat, but as far as
This
like
is true.
just, I essentially I think I said this before. Unlike with Legends Arceus, even though I really, really enjoyed that game, it was kind of tedious to get through. Um, this game, like even like uh, halfway to about three-fourths of the way through the game, I was like, I am loving this game a lot. I am so looking forward to playing through it again with a different team. Like already planning out, like I didn't get to use that this time. I want to next time, and like I have like like a full-on mono fighting team. So there's so many fighting stuff in this game of mono. Uh, like there's like a couple of different like themed teams I want to try out. Just like eventually, it's just yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say about Pokemon or anything else we talked about today?
Oh, not for Pokemon. No, I think we're good.
Okay. So with that, we will see you all next time.
Take care, everybody.